Rolled hems look very nice on ruffles and bonnet ties. They also look nice on the edges of neckerchiefs. I'm going to demonstrate this on a piece of fabric intended to be a ruffle. Cut the edge you will be hemming on the lengthwise grain of the fabric. This is easier to see with linen like I have here, but do the best you can on cotton or silk. Fold over and press a narrow hem, as narrow as you can manage. I've seen hems on original garments that are quite narrow, but that takes a lot of practice. I've turned this edge down about 1/8 of an inch. Secure your thread on the right edge of your fabric. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to be sewing this from right to left. If you're left-handed, you'd be going from left to right. Take a stitch down below the cut edge, just a couple of threads, come up, catch a couple of threads on the fold edge, as small as you can manage. I've developed kind of a rocking motion when I do this with the needle. That's just a bit of practice. Just take a small thread, come up, take another small bit. As you can see, I'm using a contrasting thread so that you can see the stitches better. Of course, if you were doing this for an actual garment, you'd match the thread as close to your fabric color as you can. Continue doing this down below the cut edge and on the fold for about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Take the edge that you started at, pull the thread gently, and you see how the thread rolls inside the hem. Take a small stitch, come up, take another small stitch, and come up. Sometimes your thread gets caught on the edge, but that stops after you've gone a ways. You can see you're kind of making a whole row of V's. Pull the thread gently, and it rolls to the inside. As you can see, if you look at the front of the fabric, you see tiny little red thread stitches. If you were doing this on an actual garment, you'd match the thread as close as possible. You could not even tell that there'd been a stitch. So you've been sewing along for a bit, and then you run out of thread. So just cut off the end of the thread, leaving 1/2 inch or so. And don't worry about knotting it because you're not going to need that. You just knot your new thread on the needle, slide it inside, right. Now, when you take the next few stitches, make sure you put your needle over the loose end from the first threadful, because you want to roll that loose end inside the rolled hem where it won't be seen and won't catch on something. You could also, if you like, with a pen, coax the loose thread to be inside the hem itself, like this. Whoops, didn't want to work. Well, you can try that. All right, and then you gently pull, and the loose end will end up on the inside. See, I've continued on past the loose thread. We're going to keep going until we reach the end of the thread or of the ruffle. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy hemming!